a Chinese proverb reminds us, if you are planning for a year, sow rice. If you are planning for a decade, plant trees. If you are planning for a lifetime, educate people. Departing from these proverbs, I see a lot of wisdom in this. That's why today I choose to speak to you about co-responsibility as the answer in our mission of transforming our world today. May I begin with a statement of the problem. Many of our young people are hungry for education, and many of these form half of the congregation that you lead and guide each day. However, they are also disappointed that education at times does not seem to contribute to advancing their lives. I think you can confirm that. No? Have you seen, maybe this year because it's January, your stipend has increased because you are a master of canon law. I'm not meaning in that I value the quality of education and compare it to the economic means that it brings. I'm just simply painting a picture that in economic terms, many of our young people have achieved education and they are not employed. They have no opportunities and they feel very often that their lifetime is wasted. Remember, the Chinese proverb that I quoted was, if you are planning for a lifetime, educate people. And young people who do not have these opportunities feel that their lifetime is wasted. Their lifetime is wasted because of patronage, because of corruption, because of jobs for pals, for friends, because of self-enrichment by the few. The breakdown in the family structure and societal values also does not help. Lack of ethical leadership, which is critical to any society's development. Lawlessness and a dwindling of moral values, even from those who are regarded as role models. I think today we agree education is critical, but we must also continue to fight for a value-based education. A type of education that is pregnant with values, the type of education pregnant with lives, the type of education that you have grown through your own qualifications. When you look at these young people today, many of them have lost hope and they are looking for a new paradigm. But I am glad you are 40. I don't know if you qualify to be young, but you represent what I call the rising stars of the future. So today we want to say to young people who are here that with all these challenges, including COVID, there are still bright stars that are rising and that are counted among our society. So today you stand yourself JP because you represent this new paradigm that is slowly emerging. I think you are the hope of the hopeless. I do not want to make you the Blessed Virgin that in the midst of all the above challenges, you took up the challenge. Another Chinese proverb says, better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. I think many of us, when we are sent for education, we may even start complaining to the bishop. People are suffering, they have no parish priest, they have no this and this and this. You took the opportunity to light the candle because you saw that the larger vision lies really in the empowerment of your own people. And you can't empower them unless you continue to cast the darkness. Thank you for taking the challenge. I know you have a big heart, not because I like you, because I know you more than everyone who's here. And every time I look at you, I really feel it's time to retire at John Paul. I think you are the kind of man who can push this project forward. The people I have quoted above will be your congregation, the people that I have been talking about, the young people and those who are challenged by the various circumstances of today. I just do not want to join the bandwagon of those who cast the darkness, who continue mourning and wailing about the things that have gone wrong. I know by taking up the studies, you have shown that there is a way to pull people out of despair and hopelessness. How do you challenge the young people today to explore other possibilities rather than always waiting for an apple to fall from the tree? I want to illustrate this through a story. Some of you might have heard these stories because I usually tell a story once in a while. Most of my homilies never go without a story. That's a sign that I am also expiring. There is a man who was staying in this place where they had a lot of plantation. And among the trees that were planted in this place, you had mango trees. Those who are from Limpopo know what mangoes are. Those who are from here know the ones that come from the fruit and veg. I'm not talking about those. Now, this man looked up the tree and he saw there was this particular type of mango which was unique, which did not resemble the other mangoes that he saw, which was ripened nicely. The ones which were below were all green. He was lazy to climb the tree. So he took a chair and he said, just in the direction of where the mango hung, and he opened his mouth so that if the mango comes down, it will fall into his mouth. And you can imagine, you know, when you have your mouth open all the time and there was a bird that was hovering, actually squatted in his mouth. Many of us who wait for things to happen, we end up surviving by the squat of the bird. our society is filled with people who sit and complain that things are not going well, instead of standing up and changing the direction of our society. The 5th General Conference of the Bishops of Latin America and the Caribbean in 2007 said the following words, which are actual and inspiring. The Church is called to a deeper and profound rethinking of its mission. It cannot retreat in response to those who see only confusions, dangers, and threats. What is required is confirming, renewing, and revitalizing the newness of the gospel out of a personal and community encounter with Jesus Christ that raise up disciples and missionaries. Again, Cardinal Abre-Dulles, in 1991, I wrote my doctorate on this great cardinal, intimated that the Church is of importance, but it is not enclosed. It is a means of drawing the whole world into union with God through Jesus Christ. The first and highest priority for the Church is to proclaim the good news concerning Jesus Christ as a joyful message to all the world. Only if the Church is faithful to its evangelical mission can it hope to make a distinctive contribution in the societal, political, and cultural spheres. Unquote. If you are penetrated deeply, JP, by the gospel, you are trained to be a type of a priest that is not like the priest who trained us. Priesthood in the Church is no longer a sacramental job. You do the sacraments, but you are also called to labor towards the transformation and then pushing our society, our young people towards a new paradigm. And that paradigm is that each one of us believe in this word called responsibility. I am responsible for my own destination, but I am also called responsible for the destination of others. I can make a difference, and then I can walk with others in making this difference. The new paradigm can only be ushered if we are with people, know their needs, encourage participation of all in the actual transformation of our society. If young people are revolutionaries of the gospel, then they will indeed make a difference in society. You are a revolutionary, but you are also a master of canon law. People will only change if we take an opportunity as priests also to empower our own people. It will be said if we sit here and we celebrate the achievement of the native, of the priest, why our own lay people are not empowered, are not trained to make a difference in our churches, in societies where they labor. JP, you are a contributor. Train your own people. Don't be threatened by them. There are many of us who do not train others because we are threatened. But I know you are not one of those. I am saying it for the sake of us. You have graduated to the time when the Church has called this synod for the whole world to prepare for the final synod in 2023. And you are involved in the Archdiocese heavily with this. The theme is for a synodal church, communion, participation, and mission. once we actually allow our people to be united in a common purpose and a common vision, we allow them to be participants. But when we see that they cannot participate fully because they are not empowered, we train them and we enable them. Then we are going to have in our church, not in the future what Pope Francis even envisaged, the missionary disciples, not sacramental people who go to the church as if by a gonandos. We do not want that church. It was Pope Benedict XVI who, in an address to the Diocese of Rome in 2009, introduced the idea of co-responsibility. He further elaborated on it in 2012 in his message to the International Congress of Catholic Action. Pope Francis does not use this technical term, co-responsibility, except in these documents of the preparation to the synods. But he does convey the same idea when he says, I quote, "Leadership is not limited to a class of individuals. It is a mistake to reserve the word priestly to the ordained," he said, especially in the context of evangelization, which is the work of the church. We need to all recognize that all of us are baptized and sent. It is only when we enable our lay people by empowering them, training them, and walking with them each day that they will make a difference in society. We as priests are not meant to transform people in society. We are meant for a different kind of sphere. In the church, we work with others, we train them. The lay people are called by Christ directly with the mission of the transformation of the workplace, the transformation of the family, the transformation of the society. But they need to get this from all of us. To this end, Pope Benedict further elaborates. On the one hand, there is still a tendency to identify the church unilaterally with the hierarchy, forgetting the common responsibility, the common mission of the people of God, which in Christ we all share. In his address to the 6th Congress of the International Catholic Forum, he provides the same idea of what co-responsibility entails. I quote, "Co-responsibility demands a change in the mindset, especially concerning the role of lay people in the church. They should not be regarded as collaborators, as if they help us, but rather as people who are really co-responsible for the church's being and acting. It is therefore important that a mature and committed laity be consolidated, which can make its own specific contribution to the ecclesial mission with respect for ministries and tasks that each one has in the life of the church and always in cordial communion with bishops," unquote. In today's language, this would simply imply teamwork, networking from the basis of our universal mission, both as clergy and lay faithful. This networking emanates from our vocation and our call to holiness, directed towards the transformation of the world. The technical term I want to emphasize is you have been empowered. Empower the others. Therefore, my brother, in conclusion, utilize the knowledge you have gained to train people to be co-workers with you in making the kingdom present. I leave you with these words of Pope Francis. in Evangelii Gaudium number 127. Today as the church seeks to experience a profound missionary renewal, there is a kind of preaching which falls to each of us as a daily responsibility. It has to do with bringing the gospel to the people we meet, whether they be our neighbors or complete strangers. This is the informal preaching which takes place in the middle of the conversation, something along the lines of what a missionary does when visiting a home. Being a disciple means being constantly ready to bring the love of Jesus to others. And this can happen unexpectedly in any place, on the streets, a city square, during work, on a journey. And even today, as we celebrate today, let us bring that love of Jesus to others. You are a man of love. Let us celebrate the love that you are. I thank you.